I'm so hurt by what I just saw. Game of Thrones is so good. It really is back, but I can't believe Hodor, hold the door. Damn. Hodor, hold the door. Alright, so this is the recap for Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 5, The Door. And the episode actually starts off with Sansa Stark getting this letter. And it's from Littlefinger. Yes, Littlefinger wanted to go and try to weasel his way back into Sansa's heart. Now that she's in a position of power again, he's going to go and try to do what he does best. Be a little weasel and go in and try to talk to her and really convince her that he had no idea that what Ramsay Bolton was had in store and what he was capable of. Or, well, more specifically, what he was going to do to her. Because Sansa was just like, either you are evil and you are my enemy because you knew what he was going to do, knew what he was capable of, or you were just too stupid not to know. Which one is it? And so, like I said, Littlefinger is trying to go and plead beck and knee that he's so sorry about what happened to her. He can't even imagine. She was just like, oh, you're right. You can't even imagine. So let me go and tell you what actually happened. Let me go and tell you how... what he did to me. You know, you see this face? You see this face right here? He made sure to leave that alone. But aside from the face, everything else, every other piece of me was his. And as a result, he was just like, do you want to know what he actually did to everything else on my body? I still am in physical pain, not mental pain, not emotional pain. No, actually in physical pain because he's done things to me that you can't even imagine. He was like, so she was like, yeah, so actually go and imagine. Tell me, what do you think? He beat you. Yes. He cut you. Yes. Okay, yeah, you're taking too long. Long story short, he defiled my body in every way possible, and it was mainly your fault. You left me there, you gave me to him, and now you expect me to go and believe anything you have to say. Really? Is that how this works? So, of course, Brienne was ready. Brienne was just like... Lady Sansa, give me the word. I'll cut him in a second. Give me the word. I got you. Give me the word. And so anyway, he goes and he's just like, well, you know, you're gonna go after him. You're gonna go and reclaim the North. I know it. I can see it. And you're gonna do it with your half-brother. I'm like, look, at this point, that's her whole brother. Her family's in shambles. Both her parents are gone. Her oldest brother's dead. So, Jon Snow has her back. He is her brother. We need to stop with this whole half-brother thing. That part always irritates me. The whole thing is, as long as you're family, and as long as you claim them, that's your brother, that's your sister. Legally, yes. But when it's talking about family, no. And so I believe at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, right, please like, comment, subscribe, by the way. Did she go, did Littlefinger also tell her about the fact that her uncle was going to aid her and that her uncle had her back and that her uncle went to reclaim and build up his army again so that they can go and actually join forces? Is that where she learned the information? Because that's very important for what happens a little bit later. Now, we have the youngest baby female Stark, Arya Stark. And yes, I did that because for a moment I forgot her name. Arya is attacking, what's her name? Willow? Wilma? Whatever. You know, that girl who clearly doesn't like her. I'm thinking that girl doesn't like her because she probably sees her as an entitled, spoiled brat. I almost said Stark, but brat. And as a result, she's just like, you shouldn't be here. The many-faced god should choose me. Because right now, I think it's the issue of the many-faced god is showing her more love and attention and affection than Willow girl. The girl who keeps training with her and sparring with her and actually beating her. And it goes from them using those wooden weapons to it being a one-sided fist fight. And when I say one-sided, it wasn't in Arya's favor. Arya still had her weapons, still got her butt kicked. I'm just like, look, this girl does not like you, and you're gonna have to go and figure out a way to go and deal with her, because don't be surprised if she tries to kill you. Don't be surprised if she tries to kill you. I'm just telling you that right now, Arya. So the many-faced god is just like, look, you want to be back in my good graces and my good favor, right? Right? So I'm going to need for you to go and kill this actress. I need you to go and do this because this is what you're called to do. And so Aya, of course, because she's still of royalty, she's still of nobility. And so back then, they always said that people like that were more so the ones, rich people in general, or more so the ones who ask questions. They don't just follow, they ask questions. They're inquisitive. You don't just go and get them to do things. They go and try to learn for themselves what's really going on. And that's still true to Aya. So she's still Aya. She's still not able to go and use those faces because she's still wrapped up in her identity. Whether she wants to accept it or realize it or not, she is. And so she goes and she sees this play because she's told by the many-faced god to see this play. And the her is that the play is supposed to be a reenactment of what actually happened between her father and her father's best friend, the previous king. And then, so essentially, it made Ned Stark look like a joke. It made him look like he didn't know what he was doing. How the hell did he be so trusting? How was he so trusting? And how was he so dumb to go and believe that the king and the king's family had their back? And then he was beheaded. I mean, they reenacted everything. Was it completely accurate? No. Because when they talked about Sansa Stark and Tyrion, it made it seem like Tyrion was just this brass little person who violated Sansa Stark. And of course, this is all in a comical way. So it wasn't just like in a, oh my gosh. It was more so like, really? Really? I mean, it just downplayed everyone. It made everyone seem dumb. If you looked naive, you were really stupid. If you were in a position of power, you just seemed drunk or mad with power. It was just a mess. It was a mess, and Aya was affected. But again, Aya has to be strong. She's not supposed to really be Aya. She's supposed to have no name. She's supposed to have no face. So she can't go and overreact. And I was thinking to myself, watch, the many-faced god, I was waiting for him to be in the crowd or having one of his little pawns looking at her to see how she would react. So Aya's backstage, and she's looking at the actors. And so she finds out that she has to kill this older actor and female actor, and she's like, she kind of likes her. She likes her spunk, she likes her personality, and that's when she starts to question, okay, who's actually paying us? Who's actually in charge? Why do they have us go and do this stuff in the shadows? Who are we actually reporting to? And it's not the many-faced gods. It's someone else, so let's stop this. But that's what she really wants to say, and that's what she's really thinking, but that's not what's coming out of her mouth. What's coming out of her mouth is more so, why do we have me doing this? I actually like her. She seems cool. The younger one seems jealous. The younger one seems intimidated. But the older one that you want me to poison, which I can't do because I'll put it in her alcohol. She's the only one that drinks from it, so I'll put it in her alcohol. But, so there is that. There's still that conflict of interest. When Bran is going through his vision walks with the three-eyed sparrow, he realizes that those creatures that are with the three-eyed sparrow, the ones that look like, I guess they're the closest things to fairies in Game of Thrones, they were the ones who actually created the White Walkers. I don't know who the guy was, but they turned him into the, I guess you can say, the king of the White Walkers, and he went and create all the rest of them as a result. So when Bran wakes up, he's just like, yo, this is your fault. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? They were just like, yeah, we did this to protect ourselves from people who looked like you. I was just like, me being cynical, I'm like, oh, doesn't that sound familiar? Anyway, so again, there's more backstory there, which I'm sure we're going to get a better explanation of. Now, we're back at, you know, the Haggard Sea Kingdom. That's what I'm calling it, because I forgot what it's called. The Haggard Sea Kingdom, where we have Theon's sister. She's trying to go, and she's trying to, what do you call it? Stake claim? Is that how you phrase it? Stake claim on her kingdom. you know, because her father died. Her father was killed. But as of now, we're saying her father died. And right now, they're over it because they're saying to themselves, you are a woman. We've never had a king. I mean, queen. We've always had kings. So because we've always had kings, we're not going to tolerate or be okay with the fact that you are a woman. And she goes and just says at the end of the day, I am from here. I'm Grainborn? Is that how you say it? Iron Islands? I'm a part of the Iron Islands. I have actually gone and done things for you guys, with you guys. I've commanded, I've led, and there's no one better suited for me. And she's right. And she's slowly winning them over because they know that she's right. At the end of the day, her resume supersedes her gender. And I'm like, okay. But then again, it's almost like you're still a woman. So that's when Theon had to step in because they're just like, the sun is back. So what are we really doing here? And Theon, of course, as we figured, went and put his faith and his loyalty and his love, his admiration, put his name behind his sister. And so that almost cemented it. And we're like, this is too easy. This is too easy. This is Game of Thrones. So what actually happens is their uncle, what's his name? Urine? That's what I'm calling him, Urine. He comes back and he's just like, you know what? She's a woman. And she's not me. I've circled the world. Her plan is what? To have 1,000 ships? No, I actually went over across the world and I know what we really need to do. What we really need to do is go and stake claim by joining forces with the Mother of Dragons. You know, I have a penis and I'll have 1,000 ships, a fleet of ships. I know that's what she really wants. I've actually talked with her. I've discussed with, I know what she wants. And so as a result, I'll go and do so, give it to her, and so she will be my wife. I'm thinking to myself, okay, Khaleesi, come out of nowhere, please. Kill this guy. Do it for me. Just do it for me. Just kill him. Kill him. We need him gone. We need him dead. Because I already don't like him. I didn't like him before, but I already don't like him. And even amidst the fact that he killed his brother. That's the crazy thing. The Iron Islands is so vicious that he killed his brother and they downplayed it. They didn't even put much thought or energy into it. And so they go and they put their, they put their loyalty behind him. And by doing so, now it's like, oh crap. Theon and his sister have to run because they know that they're going to be killed. They do the ceremony, which is supposed to technically kill him, bring him back to life. Because the whole phrase is, how does it go? Something never dies, or however it's phrased. And so when he does come back to life after being dunked and submerged into water for a long period of time, he's just like, okay, so where's my niece and nephew? We need to kill them. And of course, they're already on ships and they're gone. So I'm thinking, okay, who are they going to join forces with? At this point, who are they going to join forces with? Leave a comment in below and tell me who do you think they're going to join forces with. Now we have Tyrion, who has to come up with a new plan of how the people of Meereen, even though there's some peace as of now, the the Harpy of the Vale or something like that, they've calmed down as of now. Their financial backing is temporarily stalled. So now's the time to go and really cement the fact that Daenerys is the queen, that she has your best interests at heart, that she has your back, that she is loyal to you guys, that she loves you guys, that she appreciates you guys. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so how are you going to do that with her not being there? Well, Tyrion has a great plan. He's going to go and use religion. He's going to go and use religion to go and fortify his, fortify the love and admiration for Queen Daenerys and for her people. And, of course, who else are they going to use but the people who follow the, the fire god? And so this other red woman comes, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, is she actually look like that, or is she haggard too? I want to know. I didn't necessarily see her wear a pendant, so maybe she's not actually haggard. Oh gosh, she's wearing a pendant. Yep, she might be haggard as well. So there's clearly multiple Fire Lady people or Red Lady people. And so Tyrion was eating it all up. He believed it, and Varys didn't believe it. Varys didn't trust her. He was just like, how can we trust more so a religious fanatic? Someone who puts their faith behind a god, and then whoever that god is supposed to think is the next them, the next leader. How are we supposed to go and have someone who's essentially wishy-washy? And so he was just like, she was just like, oh, so you don't believe me? You don't believe in my faith? Oh, okay, so I'm going to show your ass. I'm going to show you more than I can tell you, better than I can tell you. You know how I'm going to do that? I'm going to do that by telling you about what happened to you. The fact that, you know, the story, the full story that was never told about how you lost your penis, how you lost your unit. And here's how it goes. I know that was sacrificed by this guy who, this sorcerer of sorts, who thought that he was going to use your penis. And that just sounds weird. And, no, was it the shaft or was it the balls? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think to myself. But yeah, use it and create a spell. And you know, as you were laying there helpless and defenseless, and what were you just thinking to yourselves? I mean, and so that story just basically validated the fact that, you know, there is something to her magic and to her belief, and Varys is spooked and he stops talking. So Bran, he's a Stark, alright. You cannot tell a Stark no and let them be okay with it. So Bran decides to go while everyone's distracted. He goes and he goes on his little vision walk himself. Now, unfortunately, that vision walk involved being dead center of the White Walker army. And, of course, the king of the White Walkers, he actually saw Bran, and because he saw Bran, he marked Bran. Now he knows where Bran is. Now Bran isn't protected. Now the hideout is exposed. Now everyone is screwed. Thank you, Bran. Now we're back to, of course, the Starks. Jon. I'm not calling him Jon Snow anymore. I'm calling him Jon Stark. Jon Stark and Sansa Stark. And, of course, Davis, the Red Lady, Brienne. Technically, I guess you can say the leader of the Wildlings. And so they're all trying to create a plan of who's actually on our side. Who's actually on our side? Who actually has our back? And what are we going to do? Because we need someone. And they essentially figure out that, you know, even though Sansa was thinking, you know, my family and their name and their loyalty still has power in the north. And they have to tell Sansa, make her realize that, look, if they really had loyalty to you, they wouldn't have left your butt there. They wouldn't have let Ramsay do what he did to you. And so, you know, she realizes that, but then she's like, wait, what about our uncle? You know, the Black something. I'll get the name for next week. They're in charge of the Black something, and it's like this really credible, really ancient, really powerful army. They put it back together again. And so it's like, yes, we can use them. It's just like, so how did you know about that? And she was just like, oh yeah, well, Ramsay told me. Well, I overheard it while I was still there, like right before I left. It was one of the last things I have heard. And I was just like, even I knew that sounded like a lie. That didn't sound right to me. I was like, that's a little too convenient. But okay, we'll go with that. And so Brienne goes and talks with her privately and says, you know, I don't like you being away from my side, because every time that happens, something horrific happens to you. And she was just like, wait, so you don't trust my brother? And she was just like, no. He seems brooding, but he seems trustworthy. It's the others that I can't get a read on, and so I don't trust them. I was like, you're not wrong. Well, in this group, yeah, you're wrong. But I understand. I mean, these men, for the most part in this show, have dogged out them each other. So forget a woman. Forget a woman. So I understand that, but she was just like, oh yeah, by the way, why'd you lie to your brother? Why'd you lie? Yeah, so we get past that. And afterwards, of course, everyone's leaving. And the whole thing is Sansa created this throw. Why am I calling it a throw? Not a shawl. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a wolf, animal, husk thing that I guess is traditional in their family, and it has their crest and it's supposed to kind of look like the same one that their father had. And so of course he appreciated that. And the thing is, they're off. They're off. They're going to try and build up an army so that they can go and reclaim the North. That is the goal. That is the goal. And of course, Jon's best friend is left there to technically be the leader. And I don't think that he realizes what that entails. Hopefully they like him better than Jon. Hopefully they like him better than Jon. And so, remember that girl whose twin brother had those powers and eventually died, but now she's helping Bran out? Yeah, well, she's really smart. She's the survivor, because she realizes, wait a minute, I'm seeing their breath. Why am I seeing their breath? She realizes it too. And then it's like, oh crap. The White Walkers have found them. They're there. We knew they'd find them, but we didn't realize how quickly it would last. So the fairies go out to try, of course, they have fire magic. So their goal is to, they can't defeat them. It's just more so slow them down. They all know that their lives are already over. And so I guess it's fitting because they helped create the White Walkers. So that's why they're so willing to at least go up against them. Bran is stuck in the vision, and he's stuck in the vision of the past. And I'm trying to remember, was it his father or was it of him that he was looking at? Either way, it doesn't matter. Not of himself, but I think it might have been his father, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the White Walkers have officially broken in, and so the fairies and also his wolf is helping out. And right now, Hodor, damn, I can't say his name right. Well, you understand why. I can't. But he's freaking out because he's really not a fighter or anything like that. So everyone else is fighting to protect Bran and them. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. The fairies are being killed off one by one. Bran's female, that's what I'm calling her, his female assistant, I'll remember her name for next week. She goes and she gets Bran into the cart and starts moving, and then she's like, Bran, you have to wake up. We need Hodor. We need him. We need him. So then he finally hears her, and the Three-Eyed Sparrow's just like, go, my time is over, but you need to get out of here. So he goes, takes control of Hodor, and they start running. They start moving. The last fairy goes and stalls them. She blows herself up, essentially, to try and take out enough of them to give them enough time to escape. Because there's an exit in the back. So they're going to go and use that. At this time, the king of the White Walkers has already killed the Three-Eyed Sparrow. Because the whole thing was now Bran's going to have to become him. Now, they go, they get the door open, they close it. But the thing is, someone needs to keep the door closed so that Bran and his female helper is able to go and escape. And who's that going to be? Hodor. You know how Hodor got his name and ended up in that mental state? Vision. He had a vision. And that vision, again, this is how it's all tied together. This is how it's all tied together. In the past, he had a vision. The vision left him as the person he is today. The gentle giant who really could do almost the bare minimum, if we're being honest. And all he kept saying was, hold the door. Because it seemed like he was having a seizure. He just kept saying, hold the door. Hold the door. Hold the door. Hodor! After a while, with something like that happening to you long enough, it merged from hold the door to Hodor. Because that was his destiny. That's what he was always meant to do. That was the major arc in his life that it was already predetermined. And I knew we were going to lose Hodor this season. I knew we were going to lose him this season. Oh, but it was so disheartening seeing those damn White Walkers go and rip him apart while Bran escaped. I was so mad because Bran is still in this vision, so he's seeing what's actually happening to Hodor. As a kid, at least. Hold the door. Hold the door. That's what he was meant to do. I'm still mad. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week. Y'all, I wasn't, no. No.